Good morning, my friends. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me here today. So, oh my goodness. So, I've been on holidays. I was on vacation. So 2 weeks ago, I brought out this concept of spirituality and what does it mean. And so, basically, I just described what it meant for me. So, I defined it as aligning with love, with compassion, and with gratitude. And so my hope was that we took that forward for the last 2 weeks, and maybe you already live in that space, and maybe you notice that there are some spaces you need to bring that into your life. And so this week is all about making this spirituality more operational, like bring it into our life. You're going, well, I tried, but by noon I was already annoyed and so angry and mad at everybody. And so it is a practice, of course, and living our lives from that space of love and compassion and gratitude, but still also honoring who we are and our own needs. So this week, to bring this in a little deeper into our life, I'm going to ask you to see absolutely everything in your life as a lesson. Okay. So I remember Gary Zukav mentioning, and I love this, that we live in an earth school, right? We came here into this earth and it's an earth school. We have the opportunity to see everything in our life as a lesson. We either learn something or we don't. That's just basically what it comes down to. The choice really is ours. And maybe sometimes we're not ready to learn that lesson, or we're not willing to learn it, we're not open enough to learn it. And so aligning in with this, space of, really all the work that we do, aligning with love and compassion and gratitude, right? Observing what's going on around you and within you without analyzing it or judging it. Okay. So all of these lessons come into place here. So, and this is not about, so no longer blame the outer world for what's going on and going, okay, well, this is my lesson to be learned. And if this keeps happening to me, well, then this is my lesson. So we go inward, we go away from the outer world and blaming anything, circumstances or other people, and we go inward. But it's also not about blaming ourselves or shaming ourselves or guilting ourselves. That's not what this is about. This is about going inward and going, okay, there's a lesson here for me. Am I ready? Can I see it? What is the lesson? And just being open with love, being compassion, which is complete acceptance, and gratitude. This happened for me, right? So I had a really big lesson that I had a whole bunch of aha moments. I went to a retreat this past week, but I had a really big lesson for me on this vacation. And so I'm going to tell a little bit of a story here. So without getting too much into details, we went on a road trip. Our retreat was in Vernon. And so Kelly was driving, and it was her vehicle. But one of the days that we were driving, we took a few days to get there, she wasn't feeling very well. So I opted to drive. And I've always, I think I'm a pretty good driver. But we're in the mountains, BC. I haven't been there for years. But again, without getting into too many details, I nearly killed us. I was just going too fast in a zone. I missed all of the signs saying slow down. And it resulted in, I nearly killed us. We survived. But the really strange thing for me is that I was completely unfazed by this. I was like, oh, well, we survived. Let's keep going. By this time, Kelly's like, you know what? I'm feeling better. I think I can drive again. Right? But I was completely unfazed. And the only way that I can explain it is that I was absolutely in alignment with my own spirituality. So I believe, this is my belief, is that we were divinely protected. Like nothing else makes sense. And so even, I mean, the three of us, there was three of us, me, Kelly, and Joe, we get along really well. We have a lot of laughs, all of that. So of course, because we survived and all of this, we started talking about it a little more, very close. And they were really scared. They're telling me their points of view along this whole, couple of minutes that I nearly killed us. And so at this point, I have a choice, right? I could let my whole ego, my whole personality take over and could have kept me in the story. I could have blamed myself. I could have shamed myself. I could have guilt myself. Like, oh my goodness, like what was I doing? What was I thinking? Right? Again, I kept coming back to that, but I was completely unfazed by this whole thing. Yeah, okay. Sorry, guys. We survived. Let's keep going. And I mean, those of you who have done work with me, I mean, I've said it all the time. I used to live in fear. I mean, that was, I was completely an ego personality. I lived in fear all of my life. This should have rocked me, and it didn't. So I completely was out of ego, right? I could laugh about it. We could laugh about it. We talked about it. But I really did feel, I leaned back into that soul, opening up and going, okay, what's my lesson here? What is my lesson here? What do I need to learn? What am I meant to learn from this? And if I was stuck in that ego of, guilt and shame and feeling ashamed of, and all of me blaming myself, I wouldn't have been able to be open to what that lesson had for me. And so, I mean, clearly, one of the big messages is slow down, slow down there, slow down in my life. But the thing is, I had been getting this message for a while. It had been, I've been getting little whispers, and I felt like I was already starting to slow down, right? So this reoccurring message was like, yeah, but I have slowed down. I've really begun to, take that in. So anyway, sat with it, went a little deeper. I realized I still had that internal, I'll slow down when, fill in the blank. I had all of the excuses and when I'll really, truly slow down. But this was a big message. This was like, could have been a life altering, lesson that, thank goodness. And that's why I say we were divinely guided. Nothing else makes sense in this whole scenario. So I'm going to take that, right? Gratitude. I'm going to completely appreciate that this happened, for me, you know, so that I could really get this message that it's time for me to slow down. Pay attention to what's going on around me. Notice the signs when it is time for me to slow down. I love what I do, so it's hard for me to slow down sometimes. Look at the signs and watch. There's another, lesson to this as well. And I, for those in you in personal development, if you remind me tomorrow, I will bring up what that other lesson is that I learned. But the point is here in our tap in. And this week's intention is to go inward and ask yourself, what lessons am I meant to learn in this lifetime? Right? Observe without analyzing or judging. Right? It is important when we ask that question that it's not that ego. So ego and personality always comes from fear. I should have done this. I should have done that. I'm not deserving. It's always that blame, shame, guilt, or if we might still be outside blaming others and shaming others, but this is going inward. It doesn't mean you blame and shame at all. It is just about making that choice to learn something. And when we learn something, there is we always hear everything happens for a reason. Does it? Yeah. But maybe it's deeper. Maybe everything that actually happens has a reason to it. Because there's some terrible things. When you go, yeah, well, everything happens for a reason, that's really hard sometimes to sit in that. Going, but why, but why, but why? Right? It's not the but why. Everything does happen, but there is a lesson in it. And if we can learn it, we can shift that through. I remember Oprah saying once, turn your wounds into wisdom. And that's exactly what this is all about, right? Let's take a look. I mean, again, whatever your message is, maybe it's to have more fun. Maybe it's like mine, to slow down. Maybe it's to, eat less, move more, right? Maybe it's to open your heart. Maybe, there's so many messages out there, but unless we're observing what's going on, we're really open to this, opening the heart to love and compassion, acceptance and gratitude, and coming out of fear, right? Coming out of judgment, come out of that fear, that shame, and just go, okay, so I'm willing to take a look and see every single thing in my life as a lesson. And this is what the intention is today. I stop blaming and judging myself or others, and I see everything about my life as a lesson for me. Okay? Let's tap this in. So let's just shake that out. Yeah, some lessons are harder to learn. Some lessons keep showing up for us until we're willing to see them. And again, we don't see them through the eyes of the ego or the personality. Shake it out. Just shake it out. Just shake that. Shake out the blame, the shame, right? The guilt, all of that. That's not what we do. We don't go inward and blame ourselves. Okay, march it out. We don't go outward and blame others. Every single thing that happens in our life, every single thing is an opportunity for us to learn a lesson. Are we willing to see it? Are we willing to open it? I mean, we either learn a lesson or we don't. They can be really small lessons. They don't always have to be big, oh my gosh, we almost died lessons. That was just my story. They can be small, little lessons, but if we open our heart, let's tap into this body. Let's tap into this body, this physical body. Let's just come up here and just tap into this heart a little bit. Open it up and then tap, bring it down into the physical body. And we're going, okay, I'm in this physical body. I'm in this physical existence, and every single thing in my life is happening for me as a lesson. Maybe it's a little lesson that I get to learn today. Maybe it's a big lesson I get to learn today, but I'm going to see it as a lesson. Every single thing that happens in my life is a lesson. Okay? Here, just tap underneath the eyes. And they can be amazing lessons that we learn. They can be tough lessons that we learn, but we're open. We're not judging. We're not analyzing. We're not worrying what's my next lesson, right? We're not in fear. We're not in fear of the personality. Let's go here. Let everything move in the right direction. Let our energy move in the right direction. Big breath, inhale. Then exhale. Good, and then let's tap into the heart center. Again, gratitude. Tap into love, compassion, and gratitude right here, and be willing to see absolutely everything in your life as a lesson. Great lessons to learn. We have great, amazing lessons to learn. We have tough lessons to learn. That's what life is all about. Life is not meant to be easy. Right? We don't tap, let's go underneath here. We don't tap into our spirituality so that we can, okay, nothing bad happens ever when we tap into spirituality. When we tap into love and compassion and gratitude, that means nothing bad is ever going to happen in my life again. Nah, that's not how life works. But we can tap into, just put our hands on our hearts, into that love and that compassion and that gratitude, align with that spirituality. Open your eyes, look for all of the signs, and just with an open heart, not with any kind of fear, just go, okay, today I see absolutely everything in my life as a lesson. What am I going to learn today? Be excited about it. Good. Just cross that over across our energy. Good. And namaste. Have yourself an amazing day. Couple of weeks, because next Monday is a holiday, so I don't do the tap-ins on holidays because I'm slowing down, right? And so you got 2 weeks to work with this. See everything as an opportunity to learn. So have a great and amazing couple of weeks.